Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to another segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation continues from a-sabad-a-day, Ashtapadiyan. The recitation for today. a-sabad-a-day, Man Maigal Sakat Devana, Banakhand Maya Mohe Hairana, ਏਤ ਓਤ ਜਾਹੀ ਕਾਲ ਕੇ ਛਾਪੇ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਖੋਜ ਲਹੇ ਕਰ ਆਪੇ ਬਿਨ ਗੁਰ ਸਬਦੈ ਮਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਠਾਉਰਾ ਸਿਮਰੋ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਯਤ ਨਰਮਲ ਅਵਰ ਤਿਆਗੋ ਹਉ ਮੈਂ ਕੌੜਾ ਰਹਾਉ ਇਹ ਮਨ ਮੁਗਧ ਕਹੋ ਕਿਉ ਰਹਿਸੀ ਬਿਨ ਸਮਝੇ ਜਮ ਕਾ ਦੁਖ ਸਹਿਸੀ ਆਪੇ ਬਖਸ਼ੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਮੇਲੈ ਕਾਲ ਕੁਟੰਕ ਮਾਰੇ ਸਚ ਪੇਲੈ ਆਪੇ ਬਖਸ਼ੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਮੇਲੈ ਕਾਲ ਕੰਟਕ ਮਾਰੇ ਸਚ ਪੇਲੈ ਇਹ ਮਨ ਕਰਮਾ ਇਹ ਮਨ ਧਰਮਾ ਇਹ ਮਨ ਪੰਜ ਤਤ ਤੇ ਜਨਮਾ ਸਾਕਤ ਲੋਭੀ ਇਹ ਮਨ ਮੂੜਾ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਨਾਮ ਜਪੇ ਮਨ ਰੂੜਾ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਮਨ ਅਸਥਾਨੇ ਸੋਈ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਤ੍ਰਿਭਵਨ ਸੋਜੀ ਹੋਈ ਇਹ ਮਨ ਜੋਗੀ ਭੋਗੀ ਤਪ ਤਾਪੈ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਚੀਨਹਿ ਹਰ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਆਪੈ ਮਨ ਬੈਰਾਗੀ ਹਉ ਮੇ ਤਿਆਗੀ ਘਟ ਘਟ ਮਨਸਾ ਦੁਬਦਾ ਲਾਗੀ ਰਾਮ ਰਸਾਇਣ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਚਾਖੈ ਧਰ ਕਰ ਮਹਿਲੀ ਹਰ ਪਤ ਰਾਖੈ ਇਹ ਮਨ ਰਾਜਾ ਸੂਰ ਸੰਗਰਾਮੈ ਇਹ ਮਨ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਗੁਰਮੁਖੀ ਨਾਮੈ ਮਾਰੇ ਪੰਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਸ ਕੀਏ ਹਉਮੈ ਕਰਾਸੇ ਇਕੱਤ ਥਾਇ ਕੀਏ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਰਾਗ ਸਵਾਦ ਅਨ ਤਿਆਗੇ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਇਹ ਮਨ ਭਗਤੀ ਜਾਗੇ ਅਨਹਦ ਸੁਨ ਮਾਨਿਆ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਵਿਚਾਰੀ ਆਤਮ ਚੀਨਹਿ ਪਉ ਨਿਰੰਕਾਰੀ ਇਹ ਮਨ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਧਰ ਘਰ ਸੋਈ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਭਗਤ ਭਾਉ ਤੁਨ ਹੋਈ ਐਨਸ ਹਰ ਜਸ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਘਟ ਘਟ ਸੋ ਪ੍ਰਭਿਆਦ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਰਾਮ ਰਸਾਇਣ ਇਹ ਮਨ ਮਾਤਾ ਸਰਬ ਰਸਾਇਣ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਜਾਤਾ ਭਗਤ ਹੇਤ ਗੁਰ ਚਰਨ ਨਿਵਾਸਾ ਨਾਨਕ ਹਰ ਜਨ ਕੇ ਦਾਸਨ ਦਾਸਾ ਭਗਤ ਹੇਤ ਗੁਰ ਚਰਨ ਨਿਵਾਸਾ ਨਾਨਕ ਹਰ ਜਨ ਕੇ ਦਾਸਨ ਦਾਸਾ This passage speaks to the bipolar nature of the mind. It appears to have two distinct natures, one the ego, the other hukam, the self, and the interplay between these. So the Guru begins by telling us that the natural state of the mind, the one that we experience on a daily basis, ordinary ego consciousness, that is like an elephant, powerful but out of control. Man Maigal Sakat Devana, Banakhand Maya Mohe Hairana. So it's an elephant. It has a lot of power, but it is out of control because it is intoxicated by the senses. It's mesmerized by Maya. Banakhand Maya Moh Hairana, mesmerized, perplexed. And it is lost in its own habitat, the jungle, Banakhand. So the mind is in its own habitat, it is in its own domain, but it is lost. And because it is lost, it is pressed by fear. It is pressed by fear of death. And wherever it turns in search of an escape, it is afraid. But The Guru says this elephant-like mind that is drunk on its power and is intoxicated can find its way home effortlessly by allowing the Gur to guide it. Gurmukh khoj lahe kar ape. So there you go. And the Guru insists, he says, bin gur sabad-a-day, without the guidance of gur sabad, the mind cannot find a repose. Man nahi thaura. In other words, it will not find the escape. So for that reason, simraho Ram naam ati nirmal. Give up all other practices, avar tyago, to relinquish the bitterness of ego haume. The bitterness of ego haume simply suggests that the ego is misled and it becomes bitter over a period of time with fear and all of the other passions that come to invade its domain. These are like storms arising within. So the Guru says, Gur sabad-a-day, practice mindfulness, simro, of the self. The Guru will teach you how to do this because that wisdom is the ultimate solvent to purify the ego. Ramanam ati nirmal. And now he speaks about what the mind does, its nature, bipolar. Eh man mugad kaho kyo rahsi, bin samjhe jamka dukh sahsi, ape bakshe satgur mele, kal kantak mare sach pele. So this mind continues to persist in its foolishness. Eh man mugd. So the Guru says, he asks rather, tell me, how can this mind be steadied? Kaho kyu rehsi. Without good wisdom, it will continue to suffer. Bin samajhe jamaka dukh sehsi. And the answer is to seek the grace of the self, because if you recall, in the adjacent passage, the self is the motivator. So the Guru says, may the self bestow its grace, ape bakshe, and enable the mind to find its satgur. Ape bakshe, satgur mele. And the wisdom of the satgur will motivate the mind to overcome these pricks, stabs, the wounds that the fear of death leaves us with. Kal kantak mare sachapele. Let the truth prevail. And then here, a comment on the nature of the bipolar mind. Eh man karma, eh man dharma. We perform our actions through the mind. Through our actions, we follow the righteous path. Eh man panch tatate janama, sakata lobi eh man muda. Although it is born of the supreme essence, it can be power hungry, it can be greedy, and it can be foolish. But Gurmukh naam jape man ruda. Ruda is beautiful, loving. It can be made beautiful through self-knowledge. So therefore, shape yourself with self-knowledge. Make your mind beautiful. What that means is make your mind creative. That is what it is in essence, creative. So now the process of Gurmukh, or the Gurmukh as the individual, to me, they overlap one another. The Gur guided. Gurmukh man asthane soi, Gurmukh trivavan soji hoi. Eh man jogi pogi tap tape, Gurmukh chine har prab ape. So eh man, this mind, Jogi Pogi Tapa Tape. What does it do? It engages in all kinds of practices, in yoga, in indulgences, in austerities, but to no avail. Only through engaging with the wisdom of the Gur does the mind recognize itself to be the self. Gurmukh chine har prab ape. You are the self. You have to recognize that. And they who engage with the Gur will see the self within. Gurmukh man asthane soi. So then again, another verse here on the nature of the mind. What is innate to the mind is man bairagi, haume tyagi, ghat ghat mansa dubda lagi. So, desire, duality are innate to every mind. Ghat ghat mansa dubda lagi. But when the mind renounces egotism through non-attachment, man bairagi, haume tyagi, and turns to the Guru, then it tastes the nectar. Rama Rasayan Gurmukh Chaki. Then the mind is dignified by the presence of the Har Self. Dar kar mehli har pat rakhi. Dignity, behaving the way it is meant to behave. Another example, eh man raja sur sangram mein, the mind is like a warrior king in battle. It is fearless, eh man nirpau gurmukh name, because it wears the armor of self-knowledge that has been gifted by the Guru. Eh man nirpau gurmukh name. So in the battlefield, see, the haume is the battlefield, the mind. The five senses are subdued and brought under control. Mare panch apane vas kiye. And the ego is dissolved. It becomes cosmic in its perspective. Gurmukh rag swad an tyage, Gurmukh eh man bhakti jage. Anhad sune manya sabd vichari atam chine bhai nirankari. Here's the method. The Gurmukh, the Gur guided, abjures other tastes. It gives up all distractions and focuses on the sabad, the instruction of the Guru, sabad vichari. It integrates the message of the Guru into its life. Anhadasun manya, to absorb, to act out of that knowledge. And by such introspection and continuous reflection on Guru wisdom, the mind then experiences the formless self to be reflected in its own self. Atmachine bhai nirankari. Eh man nirmal dhar ghar soi, Gurmukh bhagat pao tun hoi. With Guru guidance and daily practice, ehnes harjas Guru Prasad, the mind learns to cultivate an affinity and a resonance for the self. You cultivate love, bhagat pao tun hoi, with the grace of the Guru, Guru Prasadi. And then you begin to live with a sense of adoration. Harjas. Then the perception of the mind is cleansed. And then it perceives in every particle the presence of the self. Ghat, ghat, so prab, ad jugad. So the Guru advises us in conclusion, Ram Rasayan eh manamata, intoxicate the mind with the nectar of self-knowledge. Through the Guru, realize the essence of everything. And through love and devotion of bhakti, find shelter in the teachings of Guru wisdom. Bhagata het Guru charana nivasa. So therefore, Nanak says, I wish to be a slave to those who are devoted to the Har Self. So understand the dual nature of the mind, because it will give you a sense of the possibilities, the endless possibilities of the mind. Don't be caught up in your petty little ego. Look beyond it. See what you're able to do with Gur guidance. That wisdom will show you the way. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.